This is the Lourdes and Chris show.
This beautiful, stunning, amazing creature to my left is my wife, whom I love greatly. And I'm more excited than a mosquito at a nudist colony.
Oh, that would be, I don't know, would they be excited? Who knows?
Free skin for all.
And this is my husband who, as you can tell, is a little, no, I'm kidding. He is fun. Are you fun?
That's the word I keep using with her whenever she's telling it down.
No,
I said, I'm just being fun.
Yeah, I know. I love him dearly. He really does always have me laughing on a daily.
Okay, but there's a reason why I'm excited, though, is what I'm trying to say.
It is, because we have today with us Dr. Paul Barattiero, who is the founder and CEO of Synergy Science.
Dr. Paul's been a leader and a pioneer in the hydrogen water industry for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Now, we met him, 3 years ago?
3 years ago. And we thought he was great then.
Yeah, just like, wow, what a great guy.
And then we got to really know him this past year when we were in Nashville at the TTAC. And he's just so down to earth and fun and funny.
Yeah, and a funny dude. Yeah, and just all around a great guy.
Yes.
Legit.
Yes. Which is so nice to be around people like that and meeting people like him. And just, we have been so blessed to be on this mission that I know God has put us on this to be on this mission, but He's making it fun because we're meeting like extraordinary people.
Yeah, the caliber of individuals we are meeting is just like amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so and he's right there with it because not only is he a fun-loving guy and funny and kind of just a blast to be around, but he's also on a mission, and you'll hear a little bit about that when we do go into the interview. But he's up to make the world a better place, and that's amazing.
Yes, the things that he has put together to make things better. In a way where, anyway, we won't get into it too much.
Yeah, right. We'll just talk about him. We're not.
Let's just why even have him tell us?
But before we get into that, we do want to thank those of you that are donating to the Lourdes and Chris show by going to the lourdeschrisshow.com and selecting one of two options, and those two options.
Well, one will take you to PayPal, which you can pay through PayPal or right there in the same location. You can use your debit or credit card, or you can go to the other one, that one will take you to Square, and you can either pay through Square or through
Google Pay.
Google Pay. I always think about that little G and the little dash. So yes, Google Pay, because some people do want that.
Sure.
And then we also started, I haven't shared that enough, and I should, GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Because we are on a mission, and we're having fun on this mission because it's fun when you're doing something that you enjoy, and it's making a difference in people's lives.
It's your bliss.
Yeah, and you're turning people's health around. Like we have lately been having even more and more people come to us, and we're gearing them and advocating them in the right direction, and to see the impact it's having in their life is just a blessing in its own. It's a gift.
And we never want to forget to be grateful to all of you that are donating because you are honestly making this happen. You're changing the conversation around the world when it comes to health, full health, when it comes to mind, body, and spirit. Yeah. And that's what we're all about.
That's right.
And so Paul is like right in line. Sorry, I'm so familiar with him.
Yeah.
He is our friend, but Dr. Paul is definitely in line with all that. And you'll find out in a second. We're just gonna get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Right now.
Right now.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Who's going for it? Oh, yeah. So here goes Dr. Barattiero.
So great to see you again.
Paul, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks. So Lourdes and I were just kind of going over our history. We met like maybe 3 years ago.
Yes.
In Anaheim, and then that was cool. You're a cool dude.
A very cool dude.
That guy's a nice guy.
But we got to know you better in
Nashville. Yeah.
Yes.
Last year. Yeah. That's where we're like, well, no, we were right. This guy is a cool dude. He's a great guy.
Thank you.
And so we're really excited to have you on the show. And just for people who are just now joining us or have never met you, go ahead and explain you and what you're all about.
Yeah, your bio, like the stuff that you've created and what you do.
Yeah. So I've been a medical professional for many years, and my passion is to prevent disease or prevent pathology. And I believe that our bodies are designed to heal themselves, but they require the tools needed to heal themselves. If we remove tools, then our bodies have a tough time healing themselves. And so I always like to understand the source problem and fix that. I'm not a big Band-Aid guy. I don't like Band-Aiding problems. I like getting to the source problem and the real issue so that we can give the body what it needs to heal itself. So that's foundationally where I'm at. And as a professional, as I'm an ND, I am a doctor of naturopathy. So I'm on the natural side of things. But anyways, I spent many years in diabetes, and what led me to the water is my sweetheart, my queen, Jacqueline. I've been married 28 years to this amazing woman. And the first 10 years, she was very sick, very sick. And she had thyroid issues, gynecological issues, anemia, on and on. And I really was wanting to help her because A, I'm in love with her. And B, I was only in my 30s, 31 years old, married 10 years and going, wait, this is not what's supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to have a wife of 10 years that can't get out of bed for part of the month and all these things. So I was doing research and wanting to understand what would happen. I ended up in a short cycle here. I ended up learning that hydrogen gas had tremendous benefits with the human body. And so we were able to use that to help her, heal her. And now we live a very wonderful life, 18 years later, and married 28 years. And so that's what got this started for me. And once I saw that it helped my sweetheart, I wanted to help other people. And so I began giving it to individuals that had diabetes at the time. And not everyone, but a vast majority of the individuals, their blood sugar levels would normalize in 3 to 5 days. And I was like, what the heck? This is the Holy Grail. And so long story short, then I became part of Truth About Cancer, and we were talking about cancer studies and all this thing. And so that's really what's led me to here. And now, of course, 10 years, we've been selling the water machines, and we're the market leader in hydrogen water systems. So
yeah. So, and when we just saw you in 2022 last year.
We're 21.
I meant 21. Wherever we are, we saw you last year.
That's right.
At the TTAC, we saw your lecture, and we felt like we just kind of went down the wrong path with some stuff because we were drinking. In fact, I think even at that conference we had alkaline water because we were thinking we were doing something good for ourselves, and we were. Whenever Lourdes had someone reach out to her, we would like, you gotta get your body alkaline. That'll help you with the cancer, So we were recommending it even. So you opened her eyes to something.
Yeah, and the majority it was more of juicing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I also knew that they needed water in their body. But the more we learn, we're like, yeah, but what kind of water? Because not all water is created equal, and we learned that. Especially when we're sitting there listening to you, we're like, oh my goodness, this is like great information. And it can fix this and that. I mean, there was so many things that it actually took care of just because it was hydrogen water that was going into their system that helped the gut, that helped everything else, which really makes sense since the gut is really the foundation of health in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. And so for people who are fresh in this, what's the deal with hydrogen in the gut? What's that all about?
So if we really understand the way our bodies are supposed to function, they were designed through the digestion process to produce hydrogen gas. So we actually have a hydrogen gas generator. And if our gut has the proper bacteria, which would be anaerobic microflora, we have two main types of bacteria, aerobic and anaerobic, and only 1 to 4% should be aerobic, and the majority, up to 96%, should be anaerobic.
Oh, wow.
The problem is when we have gut issues, it flips. The polarity of the tissue flips. And so we end up with more aerobic bacteria than we should. And so that's going to stimulate carbs, sugar, anxiety, depression, all kinds of cravings for unnatural foods. Whereas if we have anaerobic microflora, we're going to crave fiber and fat and different foods that are whole foods, because in the family of anaerobic microflora are these wonderful things called hydrogen trophs, and they convert fatty acids and fiber into hydrogen gas. And the reason that we need hydrogen gas is because hydrogen is a reducer of oxidation. We have oxidation naturally through our body modulating radicals, what we call free radicals. Through the normal process of fighting off pathogens, we create radicals in our body, oxygen radicals particularly. And so hydrogen would naturally connect or modulate these radicals. But when you don't have hydrogen production in the body, you can't handle the radicals. And so you end up with oxidation rising until you have what's called oxidative stress and inflammation. And the combination of oxidative stress and chronic inflammation is the leading cause of disease, whether it's cancer, diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, it doesn't matter. All disease comes from oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. And hydrogen is what should be in the body to stop that process. Now, we know we have hydrogen because that is flatulence, right? All the 14-year-old boys know about that. So we should be farting or having flatulence. And that is hydrogen gas, methane. There's different things that can occur. But what's amazing is 3 times a day we would eat food. 3 times we should convert to hydrogen. And so we would have a steady supply of hydrogen in the body. When people have gut damage, they no longer have the ability to produce hydrogen naturally like they're supposed to. And so you end up with oxidation rising, and you end up with disease models. So that's why hydrogen water, in a nutshell, everyone should be drinking hydrogen water, period, because 97, and I'm being kind, 97% of the population have gut dysfunction. And if we understand what that really means, if we understand that 70% of immune function is tied to gut health and therefore tied to the bacteria in your gut, then you know if someone has told you or you understand that you have gut dysfunction, then that means you've lost the majority of your immune function. And so you might be walking around with 30% of immune function, which would explain a lot in society because people are far more susceptible today than they were in past. So that's why I say, not because I want to sell a bunch of machines, that's why I say everyone needs to be drinking hydrogen water, because your immune function is low because you have gut dysfunction, and the hydrogen will repair the gut and increase mitochondrial function, increase brain function, increase performance from an athletic perspective. Everything your body should be able to do naturally. Without hydrogen, you can't. And you can't even digest food properly because you can't make HCl in the stomach without hydrogen. And so this is why hydrogen. And a lot of people will say, well, Paul, if you're healing the gut in 2 weeks after I drink your water, why don't you just ship me your machine for 2 weeks? I'll give you an amount of money and then I'll ship it back to you after 2 weeks. And I'll say, well, okay, that's an interesting proposition. Will you promise me that you will only eat, like Robert Scott Bell, only eat 100% organic, non-GMO food and never put a single thing in your mouth that has pesticides or pharmaceuticals or anything like this? And they'll say, no, I can't commit to that. And then I'll say, okay, this is why you need to be drinking the water every day, because you're going to eat foods with pesticides. It's going to diminish your gut. And then you're going to drink water that's going to build your gut back up, and it's going to constantly be a little yo-yo effect. But because you're drinking the water, you'll keep your gut health, and you will therefore have higher immune function, higher cognitive function, higher performance, intelligence, all of this. And so that's really the reason why people should be drinking hydrogen water, is because their body is constantly under chemical attack from pesticides and heavy metals, whatever it is. And so this is what people do not understand. And this is what we need to teach people, is that because of gut dysfunction, their immune function's low. And so simply put, they're missing hydrogen and they need hydrogen in their life. And the most effective way to get hydrogen is through drinking water.
And I mean, that makes sense because you think about it, it's not just what they're eating, but then if they're putting stuff that's toxic that absorbs into their bodies, their health, they're around things that they're breathing in.
Well, we're in Southern California. Smog is a real thing. They actually have smog alerts, and
Well, it's because they keep causing fires.
Yep.
They don't just magically happen, you know.
I mean, I think you're nailing it. We're in a toxic environment, and there's not a way to escape that at this point.
Or even the processed foods. You know, how many people are eating constant processed foods, again, destroying your gut. So there's so many ways to destroy your gut that you wouldn't be creating the hydrogen you need, which makes sense why one would need the hydrogen machine, because it keeps giving you what your body needs in the first place.
Well, so my takeaway from this first segment, because we're going to go to a break right now, but my takeaway is that when I pass gas, my love, that's a good thing. And I want you to say thank you. No,
wait a minute. Let me get this straight.
That's a good thing. Passing
gas, baby, doesn't give me hydrogen.
It does, though, I think. I think you're breathing it. You're welcome, is what I'm saying.
I'm healthy, babe. I'm healthy.
I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Super Earth Energy.
Super Earth Energy.
For nearly 2 decades, Dr. Newsom was developing this formula.
This one.
2 decades of his life. Nearly 2 decades.
I mean, that's really dedication to giving you the best quality of a supplement that's going to give you not only energy, I mean, it improves adrenal and,
Well, so it improves your adrenal and muscle fatigue. Yep. It actually helps with chronic fatigue syndrome, a compromised immune system, sleep deficit, brain fog.
Which many are experiencing, low sexual desire. I mean, this 2 decades, there's a reason. He put a great formula together. He formulated, and it's just amazing. Like, we love it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's like we were just telling our daughter the other day. It's not like it gives you like a caffeine jittery feeling. It's more like you're just awake.
Yeah, like when you were a kid and you you didn't feel. Kids they seem to not get tired. So it's kind of that. You don't go, I feel like all this caffeine. It's none of that, because I personally can't do caffeine. It causes me nausea, migraines. I just can't do caffeine. But I take this and I just don't feel tired. Like, I can spend a whole day really getting a lot of things done and not feel exhausted, or I have to take a nap, or I still do my meditation stuff, but oh my gosh, amazing.
It's because it's giving you energy at a cellular level. Now, all you have to do to get this product is go to www.drnewsom.com and look for Super Earth Energy. We've got it ourselves, but we should do a little, still show them what that bottle looks like. And there it is, Super Earth Energy. That's right. Go to drnewsom.com.
Yes. drnewsom.com. In fact, right here, we see the link.
Oh, see, now I got to put it there. I was going to put it there now, but now it's got to be there.
Or he can still put it here, but definitely here.
It's going to be 2 places now.
Super Earth Energy.
Hi, we're back. No, this time. I got it this time. Lately, for some reason, we've been trying to be the first one to say we're back, and sometimes we trick each other, and we'll see if the other one acts kind of a fool. I was thinking she was going to do that this time, but
then it becomes a pause. Then I give it to or sometimes we do it right at the exact same time.
It looks like we planned it or something. It's kind of nuts. But we're back, and we just wanted to come right back to talk more about what's going on here, and something we had talked about in the last segment. That maybe if you can expand on it. What does alkaline mean for the body, and is it even possible for us to be alkaline?
Right.
Well, that's a great question. And, a lot of people, unfortunately, there's some hype out there where people have misquoted Otto Warburg, for example. And it's typically these companies that make water machines that sell it under the premise of alkaline water. Now that the science is out that hydrogen is really the reality, they're all trying to say that their machines are hydrogen water. But unfortunately, that is false information, because alkaline water machines are not hydrogen water machines. And you have 0 studies showing that alkaline water helps you, and you have 1,175 studies showing that hydrogen water helps you. So they're trying to ride on our coattails. But the reality is, water from an electrolysis device that is alkaline, and that means you've run water through a machine and it has increased the pH or made it higher, there is 0 medical benefits to the body. It does not get through stomach acid. We know this. It's been tested and studied so many times that the stomach acid buffers the pH in the water. And so it never, gets into the body at all. So honestly, the only benefit that can come from these quote unquote alkaline water machines is if they're dissolving hydrogen gas in the water. And unfortunately, if you have an alkaline water machine, it doesn't matter whose it is, all of them suffer the same demise because it's natural law that causes minerals to bond to the cathode or the negatively charged electrode. When the minerals bond to the electrode, you can no longer dissolve hydrogen gas. You can produce hydrogen gas, but you cannot dissolve it anymore because the bubbles are too big. And so you have almost no benefits. And so lately we've had thousands of people coming to us from the largest company in the world that makes alkaline water machines. And they're coming to us because when they've taken the challenge and they're drinking our water, they're losing weight. And we have people that are losing 25 pounds in 30 days. And they had these other machines for 4 years, and yet they would drink our water for 30 days and they're losing weight and they're feeling better. So understand it is hydrogen. It has nothing to do with the pH. Now let's talk about the body chemistry. Unfortunately, there is completely false information out there that tries to tell people that if your body is acid, then you're going to get cancer. That's completely false. The more alkaline your cells in your body are, the more you'll get cancer, what's called alkalosis. And the more alkaline your system is, the more cancer will thrive. That's the truth. And what they do is they misquote a gentleman who was a Nobel Prize winner called Otto Warburg. And they try to say falsely that Otto Warburg won his Nobel Prize by saying or proving that cancer thrives in an acid environment. But this is completely false. He never said any such thing. What he proved was that cancer feeds off sugar or glycolysis. So what his actual statement was that cancer can thrive in an oxygen-rich or an oxygen-poor environment. It doesn't matter because it's sugar that feeds cancer. This is what he said. Now, somehow they took the oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor to say something about alkaline, but it makes no sense. Yeah. And if we look at the body, every single organ has a specific pH that it functions at. And blood pH can only be 7.35 to 7.45. You have a tiny little window, 7.35 to 7.45 is your effective range of pH for blood. Huh. Otherwise, the body goes into shock. So anyone that's telling you your body needs to be alkaline, you want to say to them, what are you talking about? Like, which part of my body what are you talking about? My liver, my kidney, stomach? I mean, we know the stomach is between a 1 and a 3.5 pH. Yeah. We know that blood's a 7.3 to 7.45. And so I always say to people, you can't have both sides of the equation. If you're telling me that a water that is a pH 9.5 is somehow going to benefit you, then drinking a soda would kill you instantly, because soda is a 2.5 pH. And if you're telling me that a 9.5 water is going to increase somehow your body pH to alkaline, then soda is going to kill you because you can't go that low. But the reality is stomach acid buffers all this stuff, buffers everything. And we know we don't absorb water through our stomach wall. We have a mucosal lining. It's got to go down into the small intestine, into the colon, and be absorbed there. We just don't. I mean, all these things are great to sell products, but they're completely off medically and scientifically. There is zero truth to any of that. It has nothing to do with pH. The body will harvest calcium out of its own bones to regulate its own pH. We know that. That's what osteoporosis is. We know that your body will do everything in its power to manage pH properly. So just know it's not about the liquid you're putting in your body. You can adjust pH of urine. You can adjust pH of saliva because that's based on what you're casting off at night or what phosphates you're peeing out or whatever. And that's having to do with calcium. We know that when you eat vegetables and food with minerals in it, that can help your body to manage its own pH, but nothing you're drinking is going to affect the pH of your blood or your body. I think anyone who has any medical training at all understands clearly that blood pH is managed by carbonic acid in exhaling, and one more breath per minute will do more to blood pH than anything you're drinking. And so I hope everyone understands it's simple science and simple chemistry, but there's nothing you're going to drink that's going to change your body pH.
Like that's mind blowing.
It's a bombshell.
I was gonna say, because so many people are like alkaline, but in reality, like you said, it's in the fruits and the vegetables that just keep your body pH. Because even that is.
And then what you said is it helps your body regulate itself, which I think is
the minerals, but nothing to do with the pH.
Right.
Because there is no, here's another bombshell. There's no such thing as alkaline foods. There's not one on earth. So people will say, what do you mean? Salads, cucumbers. And I'm like, the pH of a cucumber is 5.5. It's not alkaline. It's below 7. There is no food that naturally grows on the earth that is alkaline because it would rot. It needs to be acid to stand the test of time and to be resistant to bugs. So the reality is we don't ever and shouldn't rely on pH of anything for our health. We can eat vitamins and minerals. We can eat selenium. We can eat, all kinds of wonderful things that are in vegetables and in naturally occurring foods. And those things in the food, including fiber, can help our body do what it's designed to do, but it's nothing to do with the pH.
It's so interesting because most people are so focused on that. And it's interesting because even I think when we had Dr. Newsom on, he was talking about that, fruits and vegetables are actually, the pH is low.
Right.
Which you need that because it keeps your gut low, which then brings your pH level high to not high like unnatural, but where it needs to be. Yeah. Not this where we have to drink it and drink all this water to.
Well, it's interesting because I think that
what a concept.
Well, we're built so perfectly, and we've been saying that since we started the show. We're the perfect machine, and if we give it the right fuel and what it needs, then it's a perfect machine. So. Hydrogen water, obviously, but is there hydrogen out in the wild? Like, could I eat a rhubarb that's good in hydrogen, or does that exist?
Well, again, your body is supposed to produce hydrogen.
Right.
If you're eating fiber-rich foods and fatty acids, but there is also naturally occurring hydrogen water that you can get all over the earth. So Mount Fuji in Japan, at those high altitudes, you're going to have natural hydrogen water. There's 4 places in the U.S. that you can get it. There's rivers in India that have been tested and have hydrogen gas. And many people have gone to these bodies of water that have hydrogen for skin conditions and for other issues, and they bathe in it because it helps their skin issues, psoriasis, eczema, collagen production. So yes, there are naturally occurring bodies of water that have hydrogen gas in them. And so we are mimicking what nature does, but we're also mimicking what your body is supposed to be doing, because you're going to drink the water and it's going to go through the stomach into the duodenum or duodenum into the intestinal tract. And then it's going to absorb in the system, which is where hydrogen would naturally be absorbed. So we're really trying to mimic what the creator did, and we'll never accomplish what the creator does. Right. But we can do very close, because what are we doing? We're not only getting hydrogen in the body, but we're repairing the gut so that the body can be self-sufficient again and have the tools it needs. So this is very much what my mission is to heal or facilitate healing, so that, because I believe the body will do it. It's not me doing it. It's giving the body a tool it doesn't have. And hydrogen gas, as soon as you put it in the body, you're going to modulate oxidative stress. And let's start talking about all the things that oxidative stress causes: brain issues, blood pressure, heart issues, diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, bipolar, schizophrenia, fatigue, right? Arthritis, joint issues in general, food issues, the inability to produce or process foods properly, your eyes, your circadian rhythms, your actual brain function, your cognitive function, what we call. Within 2 to 5 minutes of drinking a glass of our water, your brain is a completely different place. We have brain mapping that we've done. Multiple clinicians have done this, and they freak out because they say normally it would take us 90 days to change the brain this much. And it was 5 minutes for a 16-ounce glass of water. And you were able to change their brain in minutes. And plasticity, 32%, normalization, 58% to the brain. You're talking about very serious. So what are we really understanding? Hydrogen gas is a signal modulator. What that means is it's a manager, it's a director, it's a coordinator. It gives direction to systems in your body, every system in your body, to do what it's supposed to be doing. Without hydrogen, it's like without a manager in a business. People just sit around and enjoy their time together, but they're not working necessarily. In the body, you need managers for systems to function, and hydrogen is what's called a signal modulator or a coordinator or manager. It doesn't do a lot by itself. It just tells everybody else to get to work. And so it's an excellent modulator. And so that's what hydrogen does. And it's important to understand that without hydrogen, most systems are not going to function. And so you'll be on medications that are modulating all the same pathways that hydrogen would naturally modulate.
Wow.
But without the side effects.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we do have to take another break, but I didn't want to.
It's so good.
I'm like, ooh, what? Also, I'm like, what? Yeah. So we will take a break. We'll be right back. And then I'm going to continue to go, what? Because you're just blowing my mind.
Yeah. And when we come back from the break, I really want to talk about it, because all this is so amazing, because so many people are being affected with that dementia and foggy brain and just can't remember stuff at all ages, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'd like to touch upon that, and even wondering about someone who has ulcers. Just because I was contacted earlier, I'm wondering how that works. But we'll be right back after this break.
Right back. Super Digest.
Super Digest, one of the strongest digestive formulas on the market.
And again, this makes sense, right? Dr. Newsom, but now you guys are seeing a theme, right? Dr. Newsom just does the best because that's what he does.
And when it comes to your digestive system, because that's where you get the most of, nutrition, you definitely want it to be amazing.
The top notch.
Yep. And this is like 10 types of active digestive enzymes to enhance your digestion of proteins,
fats, and carbs, as well as pineapple proteolytic enzyme and papaya proteolytic enzyme. Proteolytic. It sounds like an era of dinosaurs, doesn't it?
Yeah, proteolytic.
This dinosaur was found in the proteolytic era.
I just like saying proteolytic.
Yeah, that's actually our new word now. We're just going around saying proteolytic.
Hey, it's got pineapple proteolytic.
We never had to learn proteolytic until we met Dr. Newsom, and now we understand what proteolytic is. It's an enzyme that actually helps you break down protein.
And by the way, and carbs, and you need the enzymes to break down the proteins and carbs and the stuff that you need, because that's how you get your nutrition.
Right, and so this one has like 10, right?
Yes.
10 of types of active digestive enzymes.
Active, there's a key.
Yeah, they're not sleepy. They're not sleepy enzymes.
No.
They're not just like, no, they're active. They're running around.
10 types of active digestive enzymes.
So you want to go to www.drnewsom.com, look for Super Digest that my lovely model wife assistant is holding.
And by the way, the products we share, it's because we take them.
We're using them.
Because we love what it does for our bodies. It's really good. So you guys definitely, oh my gosh,
digestion is crucial to your health, and that's why Dr. Newsom has created this Super Digest.
If you have issues with your digestive system, you're going to want Super Digest.
That's right.
Yep. Super Digest.
Yeah.
We're back.
I was going to try to beat you
with the finger there.
I know what you were trying to do.
I was hovering over the timer, like, wait a minute. try to be sneaky.
You should have been like, squirrel, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Oh, yeah, I'll try the next time. On break, we just kind of touched up on, I was talking about, we talked about oxygen chambers, and you had said something that I think people need to understand about hyperbolic chambers, and about hydrogen versus oxygen.
Yeah, so there are studies with cancer, particularly with hyperbaric chambers with hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
of course, most people think of hyperbaric chambers with oxygen, and you're forcing oxygen in the system. Oxygen is an oxidizer, and of course, it has benefits in the body. Hydrogen is a selective antioxidant. So it's not an electron donor. And so there's no contraindication for chemotherapy treatment and using hydrogen as well. In fact, we have studies where you combine chemotherapy and hydrogen, and it's 100% cancer cell death. So that's amazing because of apoptosis. But the reality is there are hyperbaric chamber studies that are done with hydrogen, and it's tremendous to get hydrogen in the body. Basically, is when you get hydrogen in the body, it does wonderful things. The most effective method of administration is with water, but you can breathe hydrogen. We are going to be coming out with an inhalation device in the near future, which you'll be able to breathe, and it'll be good for lungs. It'll be good for blood. But when you drink water with hydrogen gas, it's lungs, blood, gut, everything, brain, everything in the body. So the most effective method of administration is in water, but there are hyperbaric studies with hydrogen. There just are not many manufacturers with
I was just going to say the problem with that is it's not like I got one in the living room and I'll just go to Walmart and pick one of those up. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, and you need to make sure when it's hydrogen, you have to make sure that it's sealed well and that you don't mix with oxygen and have any kind of a spark, right?
Ooh,
so
tough.
You're never doing 100% hydrogen. You're also you can mix, but that's probably, I would assume, why you haven't done hydrogen hyperbaric, is because if you mix it with oxygen and some sort of spark or flame, you could have fun. It could be fun.
The Lindenberg comes to mind.
Yeah, the Hindenburg, definitely. Yeah.
And my question is, because I know there's a difference, right? Like we have our travel size.
Yes.
I don't know.
Echo Go, yeah.
See this, but which we love. What's the difference between, like someone who's dealing with psoriasis or eczema, skin issues, acne? Is that the same as drinking it as well, or is there a combination of what would you suggest?
So drinking the hydrogen water will help collagen production. It will improve skin softness and wrinkling. But if someone really has psoriasis or eczema, it's typically because their elimination pathways are not open and they're not eliminating things out of their body as they should through normal elimination pathways, right, at the toilet. So we do have a product called the Echo Clean that is a beautiful spray bottle that you just push a button and 3 minutes later you have hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acid is 80 times more kill spectrum than bleach, but it's non-toxic. You can drink it. So if they spray that on their pink eye or dry eye or acne or blepharitis, dry eye or psoriasis, eczema, these things go away because the hypochlorous acid kills the bacteria on the skin, but it's very good for the skin. You have an acid mantle on the skin. And so the hypochlorous acid does very well. We have that in 2 devices, the Echo Clean, which again is a spray bottle, and you just put tap water in it and you push a button and 3 minutes later you have a cleaning solution that you don't need to put soap. You can have a chemical-free kitchen. Wow. The other way to get it is our Echo Ultimate, which is our top of the line machine that makes 4 types of water. Of course, hydrogen water, but then also it does make alkaline water for cleaning dirt, not for drinking, but cleaning dirt. And then it makes the acid water, which has hypochlorous acid, and you have 4 different levels, so you can increase the potency. And so that's the 2 ways to get the hypochlorous acid. And a lot of people, if they want to rinse their vegetables or meat or fish to kill bacteria, they'll use the acid water, the hypochlorous acid water for that, because that has a tremendous kill spectrum. E. coli, salmonella, MRSA, staph, COVID on contact. And so it's excellent to be able to use water as a disinfectant.
And so that's the same water you can actually put on any, eczema or psoriasis or eyes that have an infection or any of that.
That's right. That's right. Yep,
so
exactly.
Use it on your food and make sure
and clean it. And you can still eat it because
it's just water.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
that's exciting. Actually, that's crazy exciting.
So that actually be the better machine because it does every one of them.
Yeah. We do actually sell more of that, and that's our most expensive product. We sell more of that than our less expensive. Once you explain to people the many uses you have from the machine that makes the 4 types of water, from skin, beauty, what they call beauty water, women love it. If people dye their hair, it's like putting a very high-end conditioner. When you use the acid water on the hair, oh my gosh, they'll think they just put the most expensive $100 conditioner on their hair. It's incredible. And we used to have some people in the salons that would rinse the hair in alkaline water to open the follicles of the hair up. And then they would do the color treatment, and then they would rinse it with the acid water because it would close the hair follicles down, and the hair itself would clamp down. And so the color stays longer in the hair. So there's cool things that people did.
Same water, they can drink it or no?
Yeah. Well, you can drink it. Absolutely. If you have food poisoning, if you have abdominal cramps, some people drink it because it helps with certain conditions and things, but it's non-toxic. It won't harm you at all. And it's definitely a good thing for certain issues. Yeah.
Well, and so for someone like, because I'm always getting, and he knows on a daily basis, I get reached out by a lot of people that are many is with cancer, but it's not just cancer. It's stomach issues, ulcers, just one thing.
Dementia, diabetes,
all of it. Yeah. And just recently I had someone reach out and wanted to know because they had severe ulcers. Would that be something that would benefit them?
Acid water could. Yeah. Are you talking about ulcerative colitis, or are you talking about ulcer in the stomach?
Ulcer in the stomach.
So many times ulcers in the stomach come from H. pylori. And so you'll want to kill the H. pylori, and that's usually what causes the stomach ulcers. The EcoClean or the hypochlorous acid water can help. That hypochlorous acid can help, but you would want to go through an H. pylori protocol as well.
That's really good to know. So for those out there that are suffering from ulcers, stomach ulcers especially, this is
and stress is another big thing. They gotta figure out a way to lower stress.
Especially now, everybody seems to be stressed out about everything. You're like,
yes,
yes, and it just seems to be even more, I think, elevated in the last 2 years, where it's, you constantly are being bombarded.
It's like the elephant in the room you don't even have to point to.
right. You're like stressed, and like, yeah.
That's about what's been happening here. Yeah, for sure.
You're like, do you know anyone that's not?
Right. Yeah. Know, so it helped your wife with her ailments. And some of it had, like you said, brain fog and things like that. So would it be beneficial to someone with dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that?
Oh yeah, we have studies on all of that. We have studies on Parkinson's, and the results show disease modifying effects. So it's very serious. People with dementia, or people with Alzheimer's, people with Parkinson's, people with bipolar, schizophrenia. There's absolutely articles and studies on this. And it's what people should be consuming. If they're wanting to change brain function, they should be drinking the water, because within minutes you'll feel clarity. Also, a lot of people do water fasting.
You stole my thunder. I was going to get to that.
Okay, so yes, go ahead.
So we have people that are doing 21-day water fasts, and they're not hungry at all. And so whether it's Mindy Pels or Dan Pompa or, any of these people that are doing Ed Group, they all use my machine for water fasting, because they say it's a lot easier to do water fasting. And what we're talking about is not consuming anything but water for days on end. And so if someone wants to do water fast, typically they're very difficult past the 3 to 5 day mark. But when you're using our water, we have people going 21 days, we have people going 18 days, and they're literally like, well, I just had an event I needed to go to, so I stopped. But I loved it. I wasn't hungry. I kind of felt like I didn't need food anymore in my life, So it's what people have to understand is that hydrogen is modulating many of the same pathways that minerals and vitamins are. And so that's why you can go so much longer. And that's why the body doesn't have that hunger issue going on, because you're drinking water that's modulating pathways and helping your system and your body's healing. The last person was Dr. Jack Stockwell. He has a practice here in South Jordan, Utah. And he had never been able to go more than 3 days or 4 days. And he did 18 days, lost 35 pounds. Wow. And he was like, Paul, this was the most easy water fast I ever did. And so again, whatever you want to do, hydrogen will make it easier and better. And so you should have it.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've been flirting with water fasting for some time now, actually, just to give my gut a chance to
yeah.
I mean, it's something I've been wanting to try, because I've had people try. It's like, oh, you feel great after a water fast.
Actually, the reason why I was going to bring it up is because you had, when we spoke last, you had talked about a patient of yours, or not a patient, somebody you had advised. He did the water fast on this, and then he ate M&Ms or something when he got off the fast, and then it didn't go so well.
Yeah. If you're doing a water fast, it's really smart to do broth or something else when you're breaking your fast. I can tell you one of the things I did one time. I always like to share the bonehead stuff you do, sometimes the dumb stuff you do. I did a 5-day water fast, and I had a friend coming in town, and he loved sushi, and of course I like sushi. And so I broke my fast going to a sushi restaurant. I don't recommend that. I think that you should do a broth or something a little lighter, because remember, your digestion system is off, and you're going to turn it back on the first thing you put in your body that is food or anything like unto it. And you don't really want your digestion on during your water fast, but when you're done, you want to ease back into digestion. And so it's not like I had a major problem, but I would just tell you, sushi rolls aren't the answer for breaking fasts. It was a little rich for my system, but I would say take a broth or take something like that. Don't do what some people do and get fermented food after a fast. That is the worst thing you could do for yourself, is to eat fermented foods after a water fast, because what you'll end up with is what's called a small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, because you'll end up with fermented foods in the small intestine, and that'll feed the wrong bacteria too early on in your intestinal tract. And then you'll have to do antibiotics to wipe out everything, and then drink the water as a water fast to get your system back going. So don't do fermented food. Just try a nice broth, and that's great. But I do recommend water fasts. I think they're amazing.
So if someone like myself, because I really do want to do it, I don't want to do it like when I was a kid who I was fasting for someone to heal and praying to God that the leukemia will go away. And, I starved for like 2 weeks of no food, no water, no nothing. I put nothing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty serious.
When you're a kid, you don't know. You just know that fasting, you're not eating. And so I just thought, put nothing in your system.
Wow.
And, like everything was turning black. I couldn't see.
Oh, my gosh.
But I really wanted to save this. He was like 4 years old. I really wanted to save him because he had leukemia. And so and this was so long ago, but
got it.
But now I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do something crazy like that, but I do want to fast. So when someone gets off the fasting and they do broth, how long, like, is that the first day they just do broth through the whole day, or how do you?
No, I would say just for the first couple hours or so.
Okay.
Kind of ease into it to where your digestion turns back on. And then after the first little bit of broth or something like that, then you can go into eating, a lighter meal, salad or something along these lines. And then the next day you'd be fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because then the juices are flowing.
Yeah.
Probably you can gauge from your body too, how your body's reacting to this stuff,
Yeah. I don't want to, but you don't want to put something heavy.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't think don't eat a ribeye.
All right. Well, actually, I do have to take a break, and we'll be right back. And we're gonna wrap up. And for people to reach out to you, we're gonna try and get people to understand how they can get a hold of you if they have questions. But we'll be right back with that. And then, so don't go anywhere. And maybe I'll just let Lourdes say we're back this time. And I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon.
It's powerful anti-inflammatory botanical formula.
So this bad boy's got curcumin, and he gets that curcumin from organic turmeric root.
Yes, which is important. We want organic. And freeze-dried frankincense oil.
Freeze-dried frankincense oil is boswellic acid, actually. Boswellic acid.
I love these words.
I know. Our vocabulary has been so expanded since we started working with Dr. Newsom.
Yes.
And that's boswellic acid is important because it's one of the things that help you. It actually helps with inflammation, but it also is an inhibitor for tumors.
Yeah.
So
so why not prevent or get rid of if you have one of those things or you don't know you have it yet?
Yeah, right. And why just jump ahead of it? Because this formula is bound to Dr. Newsom's unique fulvic acid and humic acid.
Which, by the way, those two minerals that you really do need if you want to stay healthy. And it gives maximum absorption and anti-inflammatory action. People.
You're likely dealing with inflammation.
Yes, because most people don't realize that if you end up with certain pains and aches, that's inflammation. Inflammation causes aches and pains to let you know there's an issue.
And prolonged inflammation is really what causes these chronic illnesses, to and including cancer. So
we take this as well, and it's amazing. In fact, real quick tidbit, even as a thin person, I always had this little pouch, but since I've been taking this, I'm like, I must have had inflammation because that little pouch is gone.
Goodbye pouch, no more punch. So you want to go to www.drnewsom.com, get that anti-inflammatory formula of his in Inflamagon. I love the name Inflamagon.
Like it's gone.
Inflamagon.
Inflam is gone.
We love it.
We do.
I'll let that one slide. We love it. We know that you love it too because look, inflammation is something that you really want to work out of your system right now.
Yeah, like if you want to avoid health issues, when you have too much inflammation just creates, and especially if it's consistently going on,
right.
It causes diseases, it causes illnesses. Who wants to be sick?
And you can trust Inflamagon because it comes from Dr. Newsom, and
we trust it.
We trust it, and we love it.
And we take this sucker daily.
Love it.
We like to prevent.
We're back.
Oh, so
I kick her all the time, as she wishes.
You're like 1, 2, 3, go.
That's how professionals come in from a break.
Guys, like go now.
So I'm sorry. So I know that you've got to get going because you've got other commitments, and we actually stole a bunch of your time right now for this. So we appreciate you coming on there to do that. So you can find a coupon code. We're gonna have the description. We're gonna have it in our link.
Yeah, it'll be in the link and in the description, and also on our website when you go to LourdesandChrisShow.com.
Yeah, and all they do, they just go to synergyscience.com, and then when they're in the checkout process, when you're almost at the end, you would put the coupon code in when you're about to check out, and then you'll see the discounts.
So one more time, the website, so that we can have that up on the air, all flashing and pretty.
Yeah, Synergy, SYNERGY, and then science.com.
And then I will have the coupon code for you guys there, so you make sure you put that coupon code in there so you get your discount.
Yes.
Now, how would people reach out to you with questions? Is there a way for them to get to you with specific questions, or do you have a team? To me? Yeah, or team,
Oh gosh. Yeah. 1-800-337-7017 is our toll-free number, and just reach out to the staff. I don't usually answer that, but
I would say you're very busy.
Yes, but the reality is we have a great staff, customer experience team that if they can't answer your question, they have a way to quickly message me, and I can quickly message them back real time, and they can answer your questions that way.
Well, the reality is that you're just an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And I just love that this all started because of the love of your life.
Yes.
That reflects, actually, I feel that because that's what got us on our journey as well, because when Lourdes had her cancer, there she is.
I love it. Yes, look at you too.
That was our first year here, snow babies.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. No, I really love this because
it speaks to me because Lourdes had cancer, and she saw it as an opportunity to change the world because that's her calling. And I was the doubting Thomas, and so she turned me around.
Yep.
But now it's my mission to be right there by her side as well. So that speaks to me on so many levels.
Well, it's funny because
awesome.
it's one of the things that God made it real clear to me.
Yeah.
This is your mission. This is what you're going to do. And this man here is coming with you in it. And even though he was like in the beginning stubborn, like, oh, I know you're going to do it. It's like,
I was definitely saying she needs to listen to the doctors and stop being a fool. But that was my journey. I had my own journey with that. So of course, I did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the thing. And God does call us to do certain things, and that's why we know that this is our calling, because I guess the moral of the story is be careful how you wish for it, because
it's like, how can I be a difference?
Yeah, Lourdes for years was saying, how can I be a difference? How can I be a difference? And the Almighty said, oh, I have a way.
Yeah, because I'm like, acting in front of the camera, but I'm like, man, but how can it be a difference in the world? And
right.
It's so funny because coming from like, and he's like, it's gonna be because you were homeless and you lived in the streets and on and on and on, and then you came from nothing. You lived in the projects, and here you are, in Hollywood making it. It's like, no, it doesn't feel like it's that. It feels much bigger.
She kept going, no, that's not it. What is it, Lord? Help me out.
Yeah, help me out. What do you got? And all of a sudden
he's like, since you asked.
Yeah. Well, this little thing here for you.
I got this thing.
I have some ideas.
I love that.
But you know what? It was the best thing that happened, and it really helped to understand how God has built our bodies. Because we take it for granted. We think that that man is just way more better than God. God didn't. There's gonna be flaws, so we got this for you. Instead of going, well, He built the body so perfectly.
Yes.
What am I doing that I'm interrupting that flow? And then go from there. But we get cocky, and I definitely was a sugar fanatic.
There you go.
Ooh, I was just like loved. I had breakfast, lunch, dinner, sugar.
That's right. So thank you so much for coming on, Paul. We know that I'm sorry, Dr. Paul. I'm all
That's okay. I was Paul before I was Dr. Paul. So yeah.
We appreciate you coming on the air with us. I know it was because you deliberately carved out some time to do that. So we can't be more grateful for that.
And we love you. Like
thank
genuinely
you.
From the heart love you. You are just
thank you. I love you both too so much.
That's legit.
It's like when we met you, like honest people, when we met him, it was like this quick connection, and I mean, you're just so down to earth with all this knowledge you have, and all these creations you're doing to help people in a natural way, that you would think that you would be snooty. I've done that. You're so not that person, and you're so down to earth.
I have this saying, my breath stinks in the morning just like everybody else.
I love that. Well, until you drink the hydrogen water.
Put it right out, right?
I try to keep inflammation down, because then you have not as bad a breath in the morning, that's for sure. But it still does stink. I can promise you that. So guess what? We're all the same. We're all the same.
If you don't want it to stink as much, like you said, just drink more hydrogen water.
That's right.
You're so right. So again, thank you so much.
You.
We are going to have you on again soon, because there's more to talk about, and so for everybody that's salivating for the next episode.
Yeah, it's going to be all about Halo, and we'll what that is.
Yeah, we're not even going to tell you. We're going to let you think about it for a while.
Yeah.
Well, there's a number of things we can talk about. That's for sure. Detoxification and other things. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Can't wait.
Okay, so thank you so much again.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Can you see what we're talking about?
I know. It's like we get into these conversations after the fact, but it's so extraordinary because you saw everything he was talking about. And isn't that crazy? Like, when we talk about alkaline, we get so away from the pH of what the body does naturally when when you're giving it what it needs, right? It's so amazing how we get so wrapped around. We just have to alkaline. And then
we're going to start calling him B-52 Paul, because he just kept throwing a bunch of bombs at us. We're like, what?
Yeah. Because for myself, I understood that you don't want to be acidic, but then your body's it's going to be acidic where it needs to be acidic, and it's going to be, the pH is going to be where it needs to be, because we're always trying to pass the normal 7.5, or we're always trying to get to like 9.5 or 10, and that's not what the body's asking for.
Yeah.
If our body naturally on a healthy state is that between, what do you say, like 7.3 and a half, 7.35 or something like that. But just in general, when you think about it, they're like, oh, got it. So our body naturally is supposed to be at a certain state, while our gut is between 1 to 3.5. But there's a reason, because they have their own thing. But
well, like we've always said, we're the perfect mechanism.
Yes.
And all Dr. Paul is doing is helping us get to that perfect mechanism level.
Yep. Because since we're living in the world that we're living in today, with all sorts of things that are really causing so much damage into our body, whether it's processed foods, chemical sprays, stuff that we're spraying on or put in on or around our bodies, he's showing us what we can do to turn those things around.
And so we're going to have the website right here for the Synergy.
Yes.
But when you get on there, don't forget the coupon code, which will be here.
Yeah. So right here is the thing, and then right above, or right underneath.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere's
or even
the coupon
here.
code for 10% off.
Yes.
And then that'll also be in the description.
Yes. So there, it will be in the description and here as well. So the description, that way you can just go and click on to the actual link and use the coupon code, get your 10% off for pretty much all the stuff he's got there.
all the stuff he's got on there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because he's cool and he helped us out like that.
Yes.
Helped you out like that too. So if you want to follow Lourdes and I, there's several ways to do so.
Yes.
We're both on Instagram.
Yeah, we're both on Instagram. So you want to like, share, and subscribe, because even on YouTube you want to like and subscribe.
Follow, and share.
Yep. So we'll have YouTube here.
Sure.
Or should we have TikTok there?
Well, TikTok's usually like kind of in my chest.
Okay, so we'll have TikTok there, and then we'll put YouTube here.
Underneath the video.
Yeah, and then Instagram with Chris_Lavoy, and Instagram Lourdes Lavoy, and then is it Facebook?
Facebook's down there.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, they're there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then our website.
Yeah. We'll put our website. Well, yeah. So clear all that. And our website is right here. You also want to subscribe to that as well, and you can get updates on what's going on with us and what we're about.
Yep.
And our products are on that page as well that we endorse, that we personally use ourselves and we think is amazing.
That's right. So go there. You'll also find even Dr. Newsom's stuff on there.
Yes.
His link is on there, and because the products are extremely amazing. We use it ourselves. We love his products. And when it comes to being healthy, especially with our gut and stuff, that's why we like, the Super Digest.
Right.
What is it? Oh,
Inflammagon.
Super Earth Energy. We love those. I mean, obviously we use way more than those products, but those are our main because we really enjoy what it does for our bodies.
Really.
And I mean, again, he formulated himself. It's just amazing. And so he's there as well.
And it's funny. What seems to be in common with these people that we have on the show is they've all gone through something in their lives that made them say, "Hey, there's a better way." And Dr. Newsom, all of his formulas relate specifically to a specific patient of his that he created something for them. Dr. Paul did it for his wife, which is just kind of our story as well. And so there's a common theme with all of us that
we do things. Like it's like something occurred in our life that kind of like tapped us in the head and said, "This is your calling," and like, wow. And it makes sense because you do see the difference of what you're doing and how it's changed our lives.
Absolutely. And you're changing our lives by joining us every week. Yes. And we're hoping that we're changing your lives. And, all a bunch of transformation going on around here.
Yes, all this transformation. And especially at a time like now, more than ever before, we really do need to come together as a community. We need to share videos like these so that people, your loved ones, your friends, people or even a stranger that you may run into and we talk about, it's like, they're talking about this issue. Well, this show on one of their episodes, and by the way, even on our website, you can tell I'm lacking a little sleep, but on our website, there's all the episodes as well that are there.
What's kind of bananas is as people are reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, my loved one's got this, I'm dealing with that." For whatever reason, the next episode, and it's been working out this way, goes into that, and you're like, "Well, I just had someone asking me about
this, and this is the episode coming up."
I don't know, some sort of divine direction. Just saying. Just saying.
And it's really, but it's such a blessing to have that kind of for us, this is a gift.
Yes.
So appreciate all your donations. Your donations honestly is helping us help others.
Right.
Because you see us on the episodes and we're sharing all this information and we're able to take the time to do that because of the donations. But it's not just that. It's in your donations, we're able to take the time to actually do other things for others out behind the scenes, what you don't see. And we're always helping them because I know we needed that.
Yes.
And it was really tough.
People were there for us when we needed them, and I think by default we believe that we need to be there for those that need us now.
Exactly. So thank you so much for all your donations, for subscribing, for sharing and liking.
It really helps.
Yes. And viewing.
Yes. Thank you. We love you. We're going to see you again in a week because that's how this show is set up. I know. For us too, we're like, oh, we wish it was like every other day. And maybe someday, but for now it's just once a week. So we'll see you next Thursday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, Pacific Standard Time.
And we'll see you then. We love you.
Love you.